Hello everybody watching on YouTube, and welcome to the season finale of the pilot season of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Banquet 400 here at Kansas Speedway. We're getting set for 27 laps of racing here on this awesome mile-and-a-half track here on NR. And this is where we are going to determine our first season champion here for the Marvel Studios Cup Series. But before we look at the lineup, let's look and see how the point standings look as far as a championship battle is concerned. Realistically, it's going to come down to 2 drivers, but there are 3 drivers mathematically in contention for this championship. Joshua Collard leads the points by 11 over Tanner Sullivan. Those are going to be the 2 that I think are most likely going to duke it out for the title. But the sneak attack driver, I'm going to call him, is Anthony McCreary in 3rd. He is 90 points behind the lead. So, best chance for Anthony McCreary is to get up to the front, lead the most laps, and somehow, someway win this race and hope that Sullivan and Collard finish in the very back. That's about to be the best way for McCreary to get this championship. But realistically, it's going to be Collard versus Sullivan. But let's look at the lineup. Starting in the last row is JT Bryant, Matthew Dalio, top 10 in the lineup. We got James McLeod on the pole. Starting next to him is Carson Gum. Row 3, we have the points leader Joshua Collard with Dylan Young starting next to him. Row 3 is DJ Curtis, Trent Dunham. Row 4, Jake Baskinger, Dorian Facepuncher, and then row 5, Nathan Hudson and Steven Guerrero. But with that said, let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for our finale of the pilot season here at Kansas.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there you have it. The final command for the pilot season of this series. Season 2 will be starting up here in a couple weeks from now after this race with Daytona Speed Week, and that's going to be quite exciting. As there you've seen all the cars. Tanner Sullivan I saw on the lineup 31st in the lineup, so he's got a lot of work ahead of him in order to try to get around the 43 of Collard to get points going in for the championship. James McLeod, on the other hand, trying to go for his first win of this season. And he's got a bit of momentum. He moved up to the 13th spot in points, and he's one to maybe finish the season out strong and get in the top 10 in order to have bragging rights that, hey, he finished in the top 10 in the points. Pace car in the pit road, which means only one thing for the final time this season. Boogity, 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 let's go racing! Well, we had a great battle at the line. Joshua Collard led that lap, which is valuable for points. 5 bonus points for Joshua Collard leading a lap. But DJ Curtis now to the front, but now Jake Baskinger is trying to make something happen as we have a caution. Kyle Matthews has crashed. Kyle Keith and Jonathan Zorling. Matthew Dalio was involved. Oh, and we got another wreck. Big wreck up here on the front straightaway. Multi-cars involved. Nick Gunther, I see David Rivera, Dorian Facepuncher, Dylan Young, Trent Dunham. A lot of top 10 in the points were involved in that mess. Tanner Sullivan got through unscathed. Oh, but now Chris Washer has just turned Dylan Thoreau around. But luckily, nobody got damaged out of that. But I don't know what was going on. Maybe the 24 was upset at the 16 over something on the track. But Nathan Hudson, in the middle of all that mayhem, managed to get to the lead. But let's look at the replay of what brought the caution out for the first time tonight here at Kansas. Well, here's a look at what happened. This was just coming after the start-finish line. Kyle Matthews has got a big run, and then he just gets tight in the middle of the front stretch and gets up into the 87 of Jonathan Zorley, and then they're going to come back up into Kyle Keith, and after they made contact, that's what sends the 09 car upside down, and Matthew Dallio had nowhere to go as he ran into that mess, as the 09 went for a pretty wild ride in the middle of turns 1 and 2. But now we're going to try and pinpoint how this second crash takes place. They're coming off of turn 4. Oh, Dylan Young got the wall a little bit into Trent Dunham, and in came a bunch of other guys. Kev Shearer was one I didn't know about. And man, that looked like a hard hit when the 62 was sliding up into the front end of the 18 of Nick Gunther, driver's side first. But I don't know if the 2 got the wall. Let's look in the helicopter view. It's between the 2 and the 1. No, the 1 just got tied off the corner and got into Dylan Young, and then into David Rivera, Nick Gunther, Kev Shearer. And then Dorian Facepuncher had nowhere to go. Tanner Sullivan barely squeaked through that melee, so he was close to getting wrecked in this whole mess. But somehow, some way, and look at the job the 22 and the 03 did to not hit the 1 or the 2. I have no idea how they didn't run right over those guys. But anyways, let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Kansas. Well, after that first caution, we have quite a few cars out of the race, and they include David Rivera, Nick Gunther, Dorian Facepuncher, Matthew Dallio, Kyle Keith, Jonathan Zorleen, and Kyle Matthews. But anyways, Nathan Hudson is your leader. Second is DJ Curtis. Third is Jake Baskinger. Fourth, Dylan Poteet. Fifth is Austin LaPlante. Sixth is James Qualls. Seventh is John Cittadino. Eighth is Connor Morgan. Ninth is Joshua Collard. 10th, Carson Gum. 11th is Dylan Thoreau. 12th, Chris Washer. 13th is Emmanuel Hartnett. 14th, Seth Cole. 15th, James McLeod. 16th, we have Joshua Michaels. 17th, Sky Commons. 18th, Preston Blord. 19th, Johnny Gardner. 20th, Rafael Leduc. Rest of the top 30, we got 21st, Steven Guerrero. 22nd, Anthony McCreary. 23rd, Devin Becker. 24th, Tanner Sullivan. 25th, Matt McIntyre. 26th, Tim Walsh. 27th, Matt Schoenberger. 28th, Jessica Sheldon. 29th, Chase Oliver. 30th, Trent Dunham. The rest of the cars we have left is Dylan Young, Nelson Thornhill, JT Bryant, Charles Sanford, and Kev Shearer. 21 laps to go when we cross the line right now. And DJ Curtis looked like he got off to a better jump on that restart than the 7 did, though they both touched and dusted the wall into turn 1. They're pulling away from everybody right now behind them, but the 4 is staying tucked in line behind the 7, at least for the time being. He's peaking low for position. And whoa, nearly contact between those two, but Hudson led that lap. But now Curtis has the run on the inside, as meanwhile it's getting dicey for third as Austin LaPlante has the spot. Connor Morgan working his way. And oh, we got a crash! And it looked like I saw a peek of it. It was James Qualls, Joshua Michaels, both going for a spin. Carson Gum was involved. I don't know if the caution is out or not. Yeah, the caution is out for that. Yeah, it looked like it was with the 70, the 82, and the 19. Although, don't really see any damage on these cars. Maybe a tiny bit of rear end damage for the 70, or that could be a glitch of some sorts. I don't know, but it looked like all three of those guys got away with very minimal damage. As Nathan Hudson still leads the way, let's go ahead and take you to the replay of what brought the caution out for the second time tonight here at Kansas. Well, here's a look at what happened. It looked like they were attempting 5 wide, and then Carson Gum just gets tied up off 2 up into James Qualls, and they come down into the 82 of Joshua Michaels. But then James Qualls, I thought he didn't hit nothing, except for a little bit of damage on the rear, and we're going to see he just goes for a slow slide and just got the right side into that concrete wall, but he was still driving, so I think he's going to be able to continue, but obviously I don't think he's going to be up to speed. And now we look at with the 19 and the 82, they both go for slides as well, but I don't think they end up hitting anything either. They just go around and just lock the brakes up, back it down in order to get back going straight. I think that's what the 19 does, as yep, he continued on. And I think it's the same with the 82 as well. I think he's going to keep it straight. But so the only car I have any kind of concern for is James Qualls. Even though he was able to keep it driving on the track, I don't know if he's going to be up to speed or not. But let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Kansas. Well, luckily, James Qualls and nobody else in that wreck is retired, so we still got 35 cars on track. Nathan Hudson is your leader. Second is DJ Curtis. Third is Austin LaPlante. Fourth, Connor Morgan. Fifth, Joshua Collard. Sixth is Emmanuel Hartnett. Seventh, John Cittadino. Eighth, Jake Baskinger. Ninth, Dylan Poteet. 10th, Seth Cole. 11th is Chris Washer. 12th, James McLeod. 13th, Dylan Thoreau. 14th, Rafael LeDuc. 15th, Sky Commons. 16th, Preston Plord. 17th, Matt McIntyre. 18th, Devin Becker. 19th, Matt Schoenberger. 20th, with damage, is Anthony McCrory. Then we got 21st, Steven Guerrero. 22nd, Tanner Sullivan. 23rd is Johnny Gardner. 24th, Chase Oliver. 25th, Jessica Shelton. 26th, Tim Walsh. 27th, Dylan Young. 28th, Nelson Thornhill. 29th, JT Bryant. 30th, Charles Sanford. And then 31st, Kev Shearer. 32nd, Trent Dunham. 33rd, Carson Gum. 34th, Joshua Michaels. 35th, James Qualls. Green flag is back out, and it's 15 to go here at Kansas. Still a long way to go in our finale. First move I saw, Emmanuel Hartnett going underneath the points leader for the 5th position. Good move for him after crossing the line. But back up at the front, DJ Curtis trying to close the gap on the 7 and peek down low for position. And he's going to do that. He's going to peek down low to try to take that lead away from the 7. And he's going to make that move, and now here comes the more of the cavalry, as here comes Austin LaPlante, Emmanuel Hartnett, among others, trying to make their way up here to the front as well. 3 wide for second. Emmanuel Hartnett's on a roll. He's up in the LaPlante, but they keep it together. But within 2 laps, Hartnett goes from 6th to 2nd. So he's a man on a move. But now Connor Morgan, he thought about making that move, but he decided to peek back in line behind the 20. But now Connor Morgan trying to make the bottom lane work, not quite able to. Battle for 4th between Washer and Commons. Commons with the run. And now Joshua Collard trying to enter in. But Nathan Hudson about got into the back of the 43. That would have been big. But let's see where the other championship contenders are running. Anthony McCrory falling like a rock in 28th. But what about Tanner Sullivan? I think I saw him a little bit in 22nd. He's got a lot of ground to make up if he's going to be able to win this championship. Currently running 21st. But he's in a big hornet's nest and a lot of battles going on right now. Back up at the front, we got a new leader, Emmanuel Hartnett. So within that time of the restart, he goes from 6th to the lead. Well, not for long, as here comes Sky Commons with a run. And now Sky Commons going to take over the top spot. Nathan Hudson trying to come back. And how about Matt Skoenberger? We haven't talked about him all night. He's trying to make his presence known. He's in 5th at the moment. Nearly 4 wide for 3rd. Battle on for the lead as Hudson trying to get back up to the lead underneath of the 41. And I think he's going to get the run entering 1, and he's going to go by. Meanwhile, Skoenberger and Gardner are running up there, and they caught the 41, but now the 12 has got that inside line, so he's going to be able to make that move work underneath the 80. So that moves the 12 up to 3rd. And how about 5th place right now, Matt McIntyre, who has had a mediocre season, not able to make races for the past few weeks. He's up here in the top 5. Now he's going to go to 3rd as the 7 and the 12 go up high, handing the lead back over to Sky Commons. But things are getting pretty dicey up here. It's 3 wide for the 2nd position with DJ Curtis on the inside of Matt McIntyre and Matt Skoenberger. Nearly some contact. But now the 80 of Skoenberger's up high and nearly 4 wide. And Tanner Sullivan, where in the world did he come from? Sullivan's now up here in the mix, and he is well ahead of Joshua Collard. Remember, if you're in a certain range on track, you're able to gain points, but now they came up to the slow car of Trent Dunham, and that's slowing up DJ and Tanner, which brought everyone behind them up here into the pack. So now this is going to get really, really racy. Up here at the front, Matt McIntyre actually has the lead with Commons right there. And Chase Oliver is another guy we haven't talked about all night. He's now up here in the 3rd spot watching this fight for the lead, as it's now under 5 laps to go here at Kansas in our pilot season finale. Right now, Tanner Sullivan's in the good for the championship, but Joshua Collard's trying to make something work, but he's under fire from Steven Guerrero running on the bottom, which is not what he is wanting. He wants to maintain position. I think he's going to be able to keep the 8 behind him. But the 43's got a lot of ground to cover if he's going to catch back up to that 11 car. But I think they're also going to catch up to the slow machine of Kev Shearer here very soon, which that could cause a lot of melee. But the last thing that Joshua Collard wants is a caution. He does not want a caution right now because he is trying to make up ground as he's about to go past a couple cars for 2 spots on the track. But Tanner Sullivan's now up here with the leaders as they have caught Kev Shearer. Nelson Thornhill, who was making up some ground, he got held up for a moment. But now he's fine. Collard trying to make up ground as it's 2 to go here at Kansas. Collard was last scored 13th. Tanner Sullivan in 4th. Well, now he's in 3rd. Tanner Sullivan trying to pull away from the 43 in order to win this championship. And he's also trying to win the race. White flag is out. Johnny Gardner led that lap, but now Matt McIntyre to the lead now. But now here comes Sullivan with a run on the inside. But here comes Sky Commons. This is getting very, very intense here on the last lap. 3 wide for the lead with Sullivan in the middle. This can end ugly if they're not careful. DJ Curtis trying to make it up too, but it's going to be all Sky Commons. Checkered flag is waving. Sky Commons wins the Banquet 400 at Kansas, and Tanner Sullivan. Joshua Collard made up a lot of spots, but I do think Tanner Sullivan is your champion. Holy cow. That was an exciting last lap right there, and Sky Commons pulled it off and wins at Kansas, and Tanner Sullivan's actually going to run around the track because he has won the championship, to my knowledge. Holy cow. Well, let's look at the rest of the results. DJ Curtis came through with a second place finish, so we had a 1-2 Stewart-Haas finish. Sullivan, the champion, got third. So that was a very good run for Sullivan in order to get that title. Matt McIntyre, fourth, great finish for him. And then a great fifth place run for Johnny Gardner. Nelson Thornhill was the highest finishing rookie in the field in the sixth position. Tim Walsh with a solid finish in seventh. Great run in eighth for Dylan Thoreau. Joshua Collard was trying to make up ground in those last few laps. Made it up to ninth, but just wasn't quite there. Comes out second in the season. And then John Cittadino with a great run in 10th. Rest of the top 20 was Chase Oliver, Steven Guerrero, Connor Morgan. That's 3 out of the 4 Team Hill Motorsports cars right there. And then Preston Plord, Chris Washer, James McLeod, Nathan Hudson, Dylan Poteet, Seth Cole, Austin LaPlante. And then it was Devin Becker, Raphael Leduc, Emmanuel Hartnett, JT Bryant, Jake Baskinger, Anthony McCrory, Matt Skoenberger, Jessica Sheldon, Charles Sanford, Joshua Michaels. Rest of the lead lap cars were Carson Gunn, James Qualls, and Dylan Young, and then 2 cars a lap down, Kev Shearer and Trent Dunham. Everybody else was out of the race after the cautions that happened, and they were David Rivera, Nick Gunther, Dorian Facepuncher, Matthew Dalio, Kyle Keefe, Jonathan Zorline, and Kyle Matthews. So thank you guys for watching this first pilot season of what is the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. Season 2 coming very soon, and it's going to be the full 36 race season. Still, whoever with the most points is the champion, but the point system will be a lot more better. Don't you worry. And that point system will be revealed in the days to come. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Congratulations to Tanner Sullivan for winning the season championship. I'm Levi McIntyre, signing off.